let's talk about this potential 3-team trade. It would be a little ambitious. They got to pull this off in the next 5 days. But I think it became something to talk about when Mac Jones got benched. So here's the 3-team trade, and my question to you is, who would say no? Niners send Jimmy Garoppolo to New England so Jimmy can reunite with Bill Belichick. They reportedly are very close. And Bill reportedly didn't really want to get rid of Jimmy in the first place. That was an ownership decision. So they would get to reunite. Bill's like in his 70s. He doesn't want to really develop a quarterback. He wants to push his chips in right now. The Bucs would get a quarterback who's young. When Brady doesn't want to be there anymore. It's pretty clear. He tried to retire, tried to leave. They wouldn't let him go. He has to fill this one last year there, then he's out. They don't have a quarterback next year. If they don't have Brady, it's Kyle Trask. So they drafted a quarterback that year similar to Mac Jones. Maybe they like Mac Jones. I don't know. And then the Niners would get Tom Brady. Tom Brady wanted to come back once already. He's from the Bay. His parents are here. They could offer him an ownership stake like Miami tried to do. They could fit him into their cap space. And they have Tom Brady. So which team says no to that?
The Bucs and the Niners.
The Niners.
Yeah, let's start the easy part. The Bucs say that because Mac Jones. What are you gonna do with Mac Jones? Come on, what are you gonna do with Mayo Mac over there? I say the Niners because I think Kyle is cynical enough to be like, I don't want Brady to the point where he gets the credit for what I'm doing, and it's becoming like a little bit more like. I mean, how many times have you said it? Is Kyle Shanahan the one who's steering the ship, or can he not shed the spotlight with his quarterback? And it's just so much like he's trying so hard and to be the guy, to be the attention, the limelight. And it's like, if you just share some of that, sometimes let your players, the quarterback be great. Just give him a chance. Then maybe it'll help prop you up as well. But I just don't think he'll want Brady at this point in time. And I feel like it's more of a prestige thing if you're able to go as far with Jimmy Garoppolo, especially Jimmy Garoppolo.
But hold on, let me retort. I agree with your thought process, and I think that's essentially why Kyle said no to Tom Brady 2-3 years ago. I do. But a lot has changed since then. Okay, Brady won a championship. Brady proved Kyle wrong. Everyone in the organization knows they fucked up.
Yep.
With that. Brady still might want to come here. Brady's from here. And if you have the self-awareness that, man, that was a big mistake. And the reason they made that mistake was they thought Brady was washed. He wasn't. And they thought they had a future with Jimmy. They didn't. So those things are off the table. You're entering year 7, still no ring, theoretically. And there's a little bit of desperation from Kyle. He just traded for Christian McCaffrey. That shows you that he feels he needs to do something right now. They may not fire him this year, but they could fire him next year if he goes 7 years without a ring. So what do? Do you just hope that Trey Lance can win a ring in his first year as a starter, or do you make a move for a quarterback? I'm not sure he can pull this off. But I'm saying is if they don't trade for Tom Brady at the deadline, I think they could sign him next offseason because he's going to be a free agent. Jimmy's going to be a free agent. Jimmy's gone. He could just go to New England. Tom's leaving Tampa. He already wanted to come to the Niners. His parents are here. I think, and remember there were those rumors when he retired. Mike Florio kept saying, I bet you he's coming to the 49ers. How do we know they weren't talking discreetly this offseason? This might be something they've already talked about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, if that's your plan for next year, bring in Tom Brady to save this thing. If we don't win a Super Bowl, dude, just do it now. Because you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. We've seen it. We don't need to see this play out. We really, really know you can't do it. I'm sorry. Just saying. I know it's a lot to pull off in the next 5 days. It's a lot.
It's a lot to pull off, especially after the Christian McCaffrey trade. But I mean,
it is.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, how often do you even quarterback midseason? You make
Jimmy.
Like, when was the last time a quarterback trade ever happened? Oh, Jimmy. But
in
terms of like actual starting quarterbacks, for
it's
the
tough.
most part, I mean,
because he has to learn the system, and it's all that stuff. It's true. It's true.
I think he would be able to blend in Brady to step in pretty well. We find you can figure it out for him. I mean,
Brady with no knowledge of the offense is better than Jimmy Garoppolo with 6 years knowledge of the offense. Let's be frank. Look, if you're making desperation all-in trades, why not actually do one that moves the needle? Getting another running back, great. How about a quarterback who can throw down the field? If you put Tom Brady on this team with McCaffrey and Ayuk and Debo and Kittle, even if he doesn't know the system, they're winning the Super Bowl. I believe. And I know they can't protect him, but it's actually Tom Brady who knows what he's looking at and can get the ball out of his hands quickly.
Yeah. But I think it's go back to the fact that how much they overhype Garoppolo still, and how much they still view him better than what he is. And look, there's no talking him into it. All the fans can be on it. All the media for once can actually be in unison and actually say, like, look, man, Jimmy ain't it. And he was a large reason why you lost that game with the pick, missed players and stuff like that, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. Look, they didn't trade him for a reason. They chose to bring him back because they overvalued him. They overestimated the market. They did all this, they thought he would be this player that they would view, but no one else saw it that way because, his shoulder. But ultimately, hey, if he was anywhere remotely of a good player, I'm pretty sure everyone would have been on him still and just let him rehab and learn the playbook. I mean, you got freaking players who get in trouble will get traded, but you're not going to acquire this guy. So I just think it's just too much of how embedded in Trent's and how much they view Garoppolo. And it wouldn't shock me, again, if they don't think Garoppolo is that far off of Brady either.
It's just, I mean, they probably won't do it. The trade deadline is Saturday. They play the Rams Sunday. But, you'd think if the trade deadline was a week later, okay, and let's say they lose to the Rams, and they go into the bye week on a 3-game losing streak, how desperate are they? Again, the team that traded for Christian McCaffrey is the most desperate team in the league. The Niners are they're the biggest disappointment in the NFL through the first 7 weeks. They could turn it all around. But again, I theorize that Christian McCaffrey can't do it all on his own. And it's down to the head coach and the quarterback. And they're not going to change the head coach midseason. So, Kyle, if you want to win the Super Bowl this year, if you're that desperate, this is the move. Now, I don't know if you can pull it off. Because as Jose said, Tampa may not be interested. Trading Tom Brady midseason might be tough for them. Although he's not exactly tearing it up for that team. They're not exactly going anywhere. But they look terrible. And they have no plan at quarterback next year. But maybe Mac Jones isn't. Maybe they don't like Mac Jones. I have no idea how they feel about Mac Jones. Who likes Mac Jones at this point? Hard to like him.
Kyle. That's why everyone kept talking about acquire Mac Jones. And I was like, please, God, no.
Even Kyle probably is in the Niners organization. I never liked him. You never heard that from me. I like Bailey Zappi. I don't expect the Niners to make this trade. But I will say, I do expect Kyle Shanahan to make a serious run at Tom Brady this offseason. I don't know if it'll work out. Maybe it's 3 years too late. But I don't expect Trey Lance to be the starting quarterback next year. I don't. I think Kyle, and it's not his fault. It's Kyle's fault. But I expect it to be Brady or some vet. Maybe he'll get Kirk Cousins. Maybe he'll get Aaron Rodgers. That would be kind of tricky. It seems like Brady's the easiest one. He's going to be a free agent. He wants to come back to the Bay. He's essentially going to sign himself. You just have to make him part owner of the team, which, frankly, Jed, Denise, John, do it. Do it. It'd be good to have Tom Brady in your organization. You'd have Tom Brady and John Lynch. Nice. 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, we talk about how desperate this team is. They've already been desperate. It's not even after this loss. I mean, the fact that they traded McCaffrey said all we all needed to know about how they view their own offense. It's not so much that it was, look, we saw ourselves to get a chance at a great player and we got outbid. And it's part of that, but it's also this is out of the 49ers norm in terms of emptying the coffers. And we haven't seen that since Trey Lance. And guess what? They were desperate for a quarterback too. So when we know the trend of what it looks like with the 49ers when they act out of desperation is we just throw them all the loot. We just throw them the whole bank account. So here you go for Trey Lance. We'll give you all these picks. Here you go for Christian McCaffrey. We'll give you all these picks. And that's pretty much what they're just trying to hope, the emergency duct tape. And that's what they're trying to recreate from last year. And going back to the McDaniel thing, it's like we're stuck at the quarterback thing. I mean, they would definitely love to get a quarterback right now if they can reel it in. But ultimately, again, how much is that going to save Kyle in terms of his predictability, his game off script? At that point, you're going to need that quarterback who's actually, that dual freak that can create his own off script plays.
And remember, they said they traded for Christian McCaffrey for the same reason they traded for Emmanuel Sanders 3 years ago, right? That's what they said the day of. They're like, this is how we didn't, because it's a desperation move. It's a desperate, and everyone knows it, but they're like, it's not a desperation move. We're doing this because we feel so confident in our team. Just like 3 years ago, we traded for Emmanuel Sanders, even though that time they were 6-0, and this time they're 3-3. It's obviously different. But they said, no. Same situation. We're a player away. This is our all-in move to win the Super Bowl. Well, now you're 3-4. And a lot of people are saying, one dual threat running back doesn't necessarily overcome your weak quarterback and your slumping head coach. So if you're that desperate and you're still looking to make that move to put you in the Super Bowl, man, fix the real issue, which is your quarterback. I know it's a little late in the season, but if you're that desperate and you're already thinking along those lines, you didn't fix the real issue. You know you didn't fix the real issue. This team is probably going to win the division, although I don't know, and then go to the playoffs and lose. And it'll be like, oh, wow, what a surprise. But if you had Tom Brady, you just might win the whole Super Bowl. And you know what? Maybe get him before he turns 57. Get him now. Just say it. He's starting to look old. A little bit.
Yeah, he looks like he's going through it after that divorce.
Looks like yeah, man. Hold on. You told me trade what? Jimmy G, player for player. Yeah, Tom Brady. Josh Wyatt got you. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I think that's probably what they're going to do. I think the Niners are operating like they have one more move up their sleeves. You know? Kyle, you'd think he's like, well, I might get fired this offseason. He's not acting like that. He's acting like, no, I got one more move in my sleeve.
That dude's safe.
And yeah. By the time Brady learned the playbook, we'd be out of the playoff contention. Don't have any games to spare. Not happening. Okay. Probably won't happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's here next year. Is Jimmy Kraft love baby going to be an issue?
Wow.
I don't know what you're talking about. How do we truly know Brady wanted to come to SF? I mean, it feels like a lot of people reported that.
What do you mean? It was pretty much acknowledged that the Niners.
It was pretty much acknowledged. That. There's credence to this Brady news or just a rumor? Just a rumor. Just a rumor. But I don't know. You put the pieces together. Gabe says, how are we not talking about the fact Brock Purdy took the field? Not only that, but passed a lot. All last season, Kyle made excuses why Trey couldn't touch the field no matter the situation.
They were never blown out in a situation like that.
But hold on. They were. They weren't blown out, but they were winning by a lot, and they wouldn't put in Trey. I'm telling you, I don't know. Great. Kyle is the kind of guy who gives up on rookies immediately. Young players, he's not patient with young players. Why do we think that he likes Trey Lance? He may have liked Trey Lance for a minute and a half, but he also liked Trey Sermon for a minute and a half. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kyle is just so rash with his decisions, and then it's over. So I don't know where Trey Lance stands in this team. And the way they used him, the fact that they kept Jimmy Garoppolo is not a good sign that he's going to be the starting quarterback next year. It's not. Brandon Lee, thank you very much. Nope. Matt Ryan.
I said that weeks ago, Matt Ryan.
He just got benched.
That was a starter.
He just got benched, though.
The veteran backup.
I think Brady's got more left than Ryan. Cali Tremors.
That guy.
He's cooked. Who else in the NFC West would compete for either Rodgers or Brady to be their quarterback? I mean, the Seahawks could do whatever they want, but it seems like they actually got a good thing going with Geno.
Who the hell's going to go to the Seahawks though? Still, I mean, I know they're having a much better start than what anyone anticipated.
Tax-free state.
Yeah.
Tax-free state.
I think, well, Rodgers, first of all, is screwed because I think you know what his dead cap is the next 2 years? I think it's like in the hundreds. He ain't getting traded.
Yeah, no, Brady's the one. Unless they think they can get Kirk Cousins. And again, Kirk Cousins ain't getting it done. Kirk Cousins isn't good enough. It's got to be Brady. Otherwise, get rid of Kyle and bring in someone who can coach Trey. The only way Kyle gets to stay for year 7 if he doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, to me, is if he can guarantee he can bring in Tom Brady with him. Otherwise, running it back with Trey, like, nah. I want someone else coaching Trey, frankly. You're just going to run him between the tackles again. Do you think the Niners will trade Mac Jones for Bailey Zappi as Lance's backup? No. No, I don't. Good question, though. Dan says, I'm convinced the Niners will get Brady or Rodgers. Yeah, Brady is the easier one to handle. I mean, to make work. I got a question.
I guess you could always do Rodgers. That's all. You could always flip around the contract numbers if he's down. But still,
if he's down, but it's tricky.